Hey, this is Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and I'm joined by...
What's up, guys? This is Mike Orlando from Adrenaline Mob, Sonic Stop Nocturnal, and now Her Chariot Awaits.
It's great to be chatting to you today. The debut album from your new project, Her Chariot Awaits, has just been released recently after a month's delay. How pleased are you at last to have it out there?
It's been great. Unfortunately, like you said, it was delayed a little bit due to the pandemic, obviously. But I'm really happy that it's finally out there, and it seems to be getting, a really cool reception, which is wonderful. That's all you can ask for, right?
Absolutely. It is an awesome project brought together by Frontiers, who seem to have a knack of bringing fantastic musicians together for projects.
Yeah, it was great. The whole thing. Yeah, it started with my manager, Michael Kaplan, and he's the one who bridged me up with Frontiers. And then, we got to work and looked for some singers, and they sent over Ailyn, and yeah, it was a no-brainer. She's awesome.
She has such a strong, even angelic voice, and it's possibly one of the best female singers in the metal world. Do you think that's a fair comment?
Yeah, I think she's amazing. The best thing about it is she's from such a different genre. So, when I found out about her, I didn't previously know about her and her former band, but that was the best part. It was like unknown, so I got to hear that beautiful 5-octave, angelic voice, like you said, that she has. It's so smooth, and as soon as I heard it, I couldn't wait to, okay, this is going to be really cool to bring over to another genre. Basically cross her right into something that she's never done, and that was the fun part. So I had such a great time doing that, and yes, she's an incredible vocalist.
I mean, the world of metal has changed so much over the years. I mean, I got into metal when I was back in 1981, 82, and all we had really was Lee Aaron, wasn't it? And Pat Benatar to a sort of certain degree, wasn't it? Lita Ford. And really, in a lot of ways, female bands were seen as just eye candy, but it's just so phenomenal, isn't it, how the world has changed. And I used to be a music snob. I wouldn't listen to these bands, but now all I do listen to is a lot of course, your bands, but a lot of Arch Enemy, Ginger, and things like that. It is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of all the female fronted rock bands. I think it's awesome.
It is, man, absolutely. Which is your favourite track on the album today, and why?
See, man, that's so hard to say. Like, because every time I hear like another one, I'm, because after you mix an album and you mix and master something, you kind of don't listen for a little bit just to get a fresh ear and a fresh perspective on it. Now listening back to them all, and I love tracks like Screaming Misfire and Say No and Line of Fire. But to be honest, man, I couldn't pick a favorite. Because each one of them have their own little personalities, and they just do a different thing for the album. The ebb and flow of the album kind of, I feel, came out wonderful, and I could just kind of throw a dart at the dartboard and pick a song like that, man. I'm not feel that strongly about each track. No real one favorite.
It's
obviously you're in different parts of the world and we are in lockdown, but are there plans, or has there been plans to do some kind of live stream with the album?
Right now, Ailyn is actually still stuck in Spain, I believe, with her sister. It's been there, and she has barely any Wi-Fi, so it's been really tough because of the flights being all canceled. She can't get back to Norway, where she resides. So it's been a little tough. I gotta be honest. But at least she's safe and healthy, and that's all that matters. And then we could hopefully do something at a later date. That would be great.
How has COVID-19 affected you personally? I mean, I've spoken to a fair few musicians since the lockdown. Have you been writing, doing a lot more work?
Yeah, it hit me head on because I was on tour in Europe with my band Nocturnal, and we were touring with Sons of Apollo. We were starting like a 20-something show run, from all through Europe for a month, and then we were going to do a second leg in South America. So it got really scary right about the second show in, and I was in Sweden, and the whole tour got canceled or postponed, and we had to fly home, and it was just so scary, being out there and coming back to the complete unknown, My God, when I flew back on March 7th, there was 149 cases in New York where I'm from, and now there's, hundreds of thousands. So it's insane. Really scary. I've been home. I've been working hard in the studio, and actually just finished up another album of another band of mine, a new band called Black in the Sky, with Achilles Preacher and the amazing Andrew Freeman on vocals. So I kept myself real busy during this. Yeah,
it is that word unprecedented. Yeah. It's difficult. It's
horrible for everyone, not just for musicians and touring musicians. It's horrible. Our job probably won't come back till last. After everything opens, hopefully. I can only pray. So touring is, oh my God. We're looking at, they're saying mid-2021. I mean, my band in South America, Nocturnal, we've canceled probably 60-something shows already this year, and we have no idea when to even start rebooking for the 2021. So it's really scary. And then with Her Chariot Awaits, you can't do anything. You can't launch anything. It's a really scary time, man.
Yeah, I've worked with Zakk Wylde and Bumblefoot, to name but a few in your illustrious career so far. But is there anyone you'd particularly like to work with in the near future?
I love working with so many different artists. I mean, I've been so blessed to be in bands with everyone in Adrenaline Mob and Mike Portnoy and AJ Pirro and all the amazing people we had in that band. I'm doing one of them because I'm doing a new album with Corey Glover, which is like a bucket list for me. He's one of my favorite singers on earth. So that's another thing I'm working on. So I'm pretty happy with who I've gotten to play with so far, and I feel blessed.
Adrenaline Mob, you would have been asked this question infinitum, and I don't want to keep on about asking this question because everyone else does it.
Yeah.
Adrenaline Mob has had a lot of tragedy. Do you think really it's best just to draw a line under the band and maybe just never reform?
Yeah, I mean, we don't even, it's not even a discussion right now. It just has been, again, that accident was just one of a few that happened on tour, and a few incidents. But that one was obviously the most tragic. It's just hard to look back, So right now, for mental health, and it's kind of, I just try to stay on a path and look forward and do as many fun things and cool things that I can in music, and man, I'm just happy to be here. Exactly. I say that all the time because I was definitely not supposed to, as far as what went down. I don't know how any of us really survived it, but we did, and I'm just happy to be here, moving forward. I always say this, I adore Adrenaline Mob. I love it. It's my blood, sweat, and tears. That music is straight from my heart and soul, so who knows?
You got to try. Yeah. You got to, for your own mental health and mental well-being, you've got to try and just keep yourself busy. And yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. It's like, and every time I hear the Adrenaline Mob catalog, or I hear on the radio some of his players, it's like I love it. It's just we got to my band in Nocturnal. My band based out of South America, Nocturnal. We did a big tour. For about a month-long run, and we had Mike Portnoy as special guest about 6 months ago, I'd say. And it was a huge show. It was like a 2-hour show. And then a big part of the end was doing a whole bunch of Dream Theater stuff that Mike never did, and a whole bunch of Adrenaline Mob stuff. So it was so much fun to play all the stuff with Mike again. And what can I say? I was on cloud nine.
You are an exceptional guitarist. Did you actually come from a musical family, and can you remember the first time you ever played live?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. Secondly, my father taught me how to play guitar. He wasn't a professional guitar player, but my father was a bodybuilder. He was Mr. America. So every time he would work out, he would play me Les Paul and Mary Ford. And then that's how I got into guitar. And then my dad started teaching me some blues songs on the acoustic, and that was it. I was hooked. So that's where that came from. As far as him getting me started. Yeah, there's a big venue here on Staten Island called the Park Villa. I think the first song I ever played live was "The Trooper" from Iron Maiden. Yep.
That's awesome.
It was great. The minute you step on stage, it was an addiction that never still to this day.
If you were stuck in quarantine for a year, which 4 musicians would you have with you, and why?
Oh, man, that's hard. Wow. Let me see. I'd have to say Portnoy on drums, because he knows every song on the planet, and he's a plethora and a library of. He's just a musical genius, when it comes to all that stuff, so we can have a lot of fun playing stuff like that. Wow, that's a tough one. I would say Steve Perry, one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Probably, I jumped the genre there, but music, right?
It is.
Yeah, so Perry's my favorite. 4 musicians, wow. I'd have to say maybe on bass. Is this living, or obviously this is? I guess it has to be living.
Living, yeah.
I would say bass-wise, Billy Sheehan is one of my favorite bass players of all time. And so 4. Let me see about that. The last one. Man, that's really hard.
Okay.
Actually, maybe you know what? I'd probably go like Al Di Meola, just so I could sit there and pick his brain for a year. He's one of my favorites.
Can you tell me, you might not want to answer this one, the most outrageous thing you've done in the name of rock and roll?
The most outrageous thing I've ever done in the name of rock and roll. That's tough, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just being a touring musician, because we're all crazy for doing this. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I'm not too nuts like that, I'm kind of more just a subdued kind of dude,
Cool. Can you tell me why we should check out Her Chariot Awaits?
Well, it's a cool collection of, hard-hitting, kind of more commercially viable songs. If you like bands like Hailstorm, Paramore, In This Moment, No Doubt, even stuff like that, Flyleaf. Those are like my faves of out right now. It's definitely in that genre, so if you like that kind of stuff, definitely give it a listen. Got great players on it, great drums. Jeff Dahl did an amazing job. Ailyn, incredible singer. And they're just hard-hitting songs, but they have real big, hooky vocal melodies, that any listener could sing along to. So it's very inviting. I think just any general listener, doesn't have to be in the genre, might appreciate it. Thank you so much for the incredible support throughout the years, and on the up times and obviously on the down times, which we've had. We've been down many, in the past, adrenaline mob and stuff. But I love all the fans, and I can't thank them enough. And I got a lot of new stuff coming in 2021, so stay tuned. And again, thank you very much. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mike Orlando from Adrenaline Mob and Her Chariot Awaits. You're listening to the Metal Gods Meltdown.